So how should we deal with them? I mean, how should we prepare ourselves?
Yeah, in Bhagavad Gita also, Arjuna addresses Krishna as Murari, right, the killer of the demons, and he's addressing him that way, that I doubt, right? So please kill this demon of doubt. So maybe, perhaps for us, this is one of the biggest challenges, right? Not too many Krishna devotees, right? At your workplace, nobody's saying, "Oh, it's very good that you worship Krishna." Does that happen to you?
Yeah.
It does? It does.
I'm the only person who follows this religion in my office, so it's like the rest of them don't connect with that. So they're asking me, what is this? It looks silly, why do you have to wear this? This is my belief, so it's hard to explain to them.
You get a hard time sometimes, okay. Yeah, so it's difficult. From outside, people don't understand. And also we're beginning, we're beginners on the path, so we've still got anarthas, we're still covered, I don't know if you've had this experience that you go to a festival and chant for hours and Haribol, Krishna's wonderful, and then you go to sleep at night, and after 8 hours of being in the mode of ignorance, you wake up and... Does that happen to anybody? Krishna who? So we're conditioned souls, we're dealing with our anartha, with our conditioning. We tend to get covered by ignorance, and we don't perceive the spiritual nature. We forget that we're spiritual. Isn't that amazing? We're eternal. We're eternal spiritual beings. It's quite obvious, actually. You had a little baby's body. It's no longer there, but you're still here. It's pretty obvious that something is here, in spite of the fact that the body is completely changed. Hard to deny that, right? So that me, that someone that was in that baby's body is still here. I'm different than that. I'm an eternal being. I'm conscious. Descartes came to that conclusion, right? That I could doubt everything. What can't you doubt? What can't we doubt? But he said, I can't reasonably doubt that I exist. I have to, right? I have to at least acknowledge that I exist. That's kind of the bottom line for us, really. I exist. And who am I? I'm not my body, clearly. I'm a spiritual being. But even we forget that, and we get caught up in so much stuff. So, yeah, this is our challenge. So, really, our only thing that we have to grab onto is our hearing. Krishna says in the 18th chapter, Machchita Magata Prana Bodhiyanta Prana. No, Machchita Magata Prana. No. I'll get there. Machchita Sarva Durgani. He says, if you just can become conscious of me, then you'll cross Matprasada Tarishasi. You'll cross over all the obstacles of life by my grace. But if you act through false ego, Nashroshasi, not hearing me, you'll be lost. So, and Srila Prabhupada used to say it's Maya's business to check the hearing process. So really our strength, well, we have two strengths. We have the devotees, we have the society of devotees, which we need to cultivate that relationship. But in that society it means that we hear, either with them or alone, or somehow or other we have to hear regularly about Krishna. If we hear deeply from Bhagavad Gita, if we chant our japa and we hear, then that's it. That's what we've got. And Krishna says, Nashoshasi vinakshasi, if you don't hear, you'll be lost. Gradually we'll forget everything. We'll forget. So therefore we have these. Just think about Srila Prabhupada. He ran a whole worldwide society and he stayed up at night just to give us these books. He got up at 11 o'clock. No, he went to bed at 11 and got up at 1 in the morning and wrote till 4 or 5 in the morning just to give us these books. How much he wanted to give us this information. And of course he gave us the holy name. So somehow we need to organize our life in such a way that we can hear. Really. We just need to organize our lives in such a way that we can fit that hearing, and then we'll be protected. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that the more our lives are oriented around hearing and chanting, in other words, we have to do many things. I'm sure you've got children, right? And job, and it's not easy, especially. It's said that in Kali Yuga there'll be all difficulties for those who want to practice sadhana. That's Shastra. It's difficult, especially in the modern time. Anyway, if somehow or other we can orient our lives around hearing and chanting, and Bhakti Siddhanta said the more we do that, then anarthas will fall away automatically and effortlessly. Isn't that nice? So, try to hear. Krishna. Thank you. You had something to say? Manuji.
I just wanted to ask about the nature of the strength, because we pray to Lord Balaram for strength. What is the nature of that strength? Because there's all different types of strength, but it's, we ultimately know that we want to stay steady in spiritual life.
Mm-hmm.
Could you speak about
What is the strength of Lord Balaram? Well, also, there's another verse that ultimately our strength is realization, and again that comes from hearing. There's a nice verse that says, I can't think of the Sanskrit, Tushti Pushti Kshudapayo Nagasham, maybe you know that verse. It says that as we surrender to Krishna, which essentially means hearing to Krishna, step by step, as we take steps towards Krishna, then it's compared to eating, right? When you eat a meal, there's tushti, pushti, kshudapayo, there's these different things that happen. One is that it tastes good. Like we're gonna have prasadam. I'm not gonna talk forever. We're gonna have prasadam, and so we become satisfied. Tushti, tushti, pushti. We become nourished, right? As you eat, you become nourished, and you become free from hunger. So, and bhakti pareshanu bhavo bharaktir anyatra chasha. So that's this nourishment, or Balaram, is compared to realization. So the more we hear, the more we really concertedly hear, and the more we chant the holy names, actually calling out to Krishna, and let it enter deeply into our heart, then Krishna reciprocates with that. And we may not call it realization at that point, and we're not like self-realized, but we get vision, we get understanding, and that's our strength. That's the strength of the devotee, is the realization that comes, and that's the strength. And then along with that realization, we also become a little detached from the material world. So, and those come about from taking shelter of Krishna, especially in the form of transcendental sound. That's Lord Balaram. And there's also just getting mercy. The Lord can just give His causeless mercy. And sometimes He does. I think probably everyone that's here has had some causeless mercy from the Lord, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Somehow or other Krishna has appeared in your life, something wonderful has happened in your life that made you convinced, yes, I'm going to become a devotee of Krishna. So that's, this is our strength, spiritual strength. Is that okay? So we said that we're going to keep to our schedule here. Prasadam's in 20 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. So we can have a little kirtan.
Sure.
More kirtan. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. How we do this? I got a proposal. Why don't we do a demographic shift here and just kind of move this way so that we can all see the deities. And then when we chant, we can sing for their pleasure. Sing for them. Thank you. Hare Krishna.